I'm really excited to show you guys this. It's pretty fun. I've got it kind of stepped out for y'all, but this is kind of the end look. We're going to combine some soft flex and some exposed wire. Let's talk about what we're using today. I'm using this really lovely blue color from the Peacock set, JMO 204B. That's out here, and also JMO 204C is out here. They are both on closeout right now. I've got about 100 sets of each left, so make sure you are getting them home. I promise you're gonna need them for the fall and the winter. I don't think that like you can have enough crystals. Tool-wise, sorry, my handle's coming off. Tool-wise, we're gonna need a crimping tool, a flush cutter, a chain nose plier, and a flush cutter, and then some soft flex, some crimp beads, and then a clasp setup. So a jump ring and a lobster. If you've got a toggle that matches your crimp beads, then you can use whatever kind of clasp you want. I just had these little lobster claws that matched perfectly. Okay, so with this bracelet, we've got 3 strands of soft flex here. And then I've crimped in between each crystal. So we kind of brought the soft flex around the crystal, and then I've crimped it in between each one. So I'm gonna show you guys how I get this started, and then you guys can help me finish up that bracelet. So we're gonna cut 1 piece of soft flex. We're gonna cut about 1 foot of that. That's probably too much, but we'll do 1 foot. And then you're gonna cut about 2 strands at about 1.5 feet. So you're gonna need your other 2 strands to be just a tad longer, because we're gonna use those to go around our crystals. Just a little bit longer. So you've got 1 at 1 foot and then 1 at 1.5 feet. Soft Flex is such a great wire company. So then we are going to combine all of these wires together, and we're gonna put our clasp on. So we've got all 3 pulled together. All 3 are gonna go through the crimp bead. And then grab 1 end of your clasp. And this is only gonna go, your clasp is only gonna go on 1, like that. So leave these other 2 out. Then you're gonna grab this other one, this one that your clasp is on, and you're gonna bring that back through your crimp bead. So you don't need to bring all of them back through the crimp bead, just the one. And it doesn't matter which one, which wire it is. All right, so just leave yourself a little bit of room there so that your clasp can move around. And then we're gonna crimp all of these guys together. So we're gonna go way far back to the back of our plier and give that a crimp. And it's gonna turn it kind of into a clamshell shape. And then we're just gonna finish off that fold with the front of the plier. Like that. So now it's nice and folded, and those are not going anywhere. Now we're gonna go in with our flush cutters, and we're gonna trim these tails off, trim as far down on your crimp bead as you can go so that you can't see them poking out. So one way that I'll do that is I'll grab the rest of the wires and I'll pull them away kind of like around my finger, and then I will go in, and you can kind of pull down with your cutter towards your crimp bead. So you can't even see my crimp bead because it's gotten so close. Like that. And so you can't even see any of the tails. So that's real important in like We talk a lot about differentiating your jewelry from other people's jewelry. And one way to do that is to make sure all your finishing touches are flawless, and getting your wires cut down close next to your crimp bead is one thing, because that can be uncomfortable if you got wires sticking off. Okay, so then we're going to string some beads. So on your short piece of wire, we are going to string rondelle, crimp bead, rondelle, crimp bead. And just string a bunch of them on there. How many you need is going to depend on what size bracelet you're making. So I just kind of string a bunch of them, and then I leave my ends open. So if I need to add more, I can add more. If I need to take some off, I can take it off. And I kind of measure up against my wrist as I'm going, or against a ruler. Make sure that I'm getting the size that I want. Okay. So we've got our some beads strung on here, and then we are going to push our bead down. Well, actually, you know what I did? So then I went in, and if you want to crimp the end of this off, that can be super helpful. I'll borrow this one for now. So crimp that end off so that you don't lose your beads. Now I'm going to take my long ends, and I'm going to go around my rondelle and through my crimp bead. Around my rondelle and through my crimp bead. And then I get them all strung like this, and then we're going to go in and tighten it up and close off those crimp beads. So then again, around my crimp bead, around my rondelle and through my crimp bead, around my rondelle and through my crimp bead. So it's looking like this. Make sure you're dropping your rondelle down, and just try to kind of keep these untangled. It doesn't really matter, but it can be kind of annoying if they're all tangled up. So again, we're gonna go around our rondelle and through our crimp bead. All the way down until I get all of them, all my wires in place, and then we'll start tightening this guy up. So back here at the back, we've got our first rondelle, and I'm just gonna split the wire next to my rondelle. And then I'm gonna push my crimp bead down next to my rondelle. I'm leaving like a little bit of room. Then we're gonna go in with our chain nose pliers, and we are just gonna flatten this guy out like that. Then we will push our next rondelle down. So split your wires, your outer wires, and push your rondelle down, and then push your crimp bead down. So it's kind of like making this kind of frame around your beads. And then go in with your chain nose pliers, flatten that guy out. And then we're just gonna keep doing this all the way down the bracelet. So I have got this one a little bit further along. So we'll finish off our bracelet here. So I'm gonna put this bead stopper down there, and then we'll get going on the rest of this bracelet. So again, we're gonna split our wires, and we're gonna push our crimp bead down. So it's framing our beads. Give it a pinch. And we're just gonna keep doing this. This is a good time, y'all. If you have not yet, check out what I've got in the shop. Add your, if this has convinced you that you need the crystals and the soft flex, get them home before they are gone. This soft flex, we can never keep it in stock because y'all know how cool it is. So make sure you're getting it home while we have it. That way you have it to work with for the holidays. This one, I don't really love the way this one is doing. This one's bothering me. So we're gonna go back to this one. And we're gonna finish off this one. Let's see. We'll add some more beads. My wires were getting like real twisted up, and so then it doesn't really lay like the right way. So it is, I guess, a little bit more important than I said to keep your wires like from getting twisted up. Otherwise your bracelet's kind of gonna turn on your wrist, or turn on itself a little bit. Okay. So we will just kind of keep going with this one. So we'll go around our rondelle and through our crimp bead, around our rondelle and through our crimp bead. And we'll just keep going down the bracelet. We maybe won't make a full bracelet, but okay. So we're gonna pull our rondelle down, and then we're going to pull our crimp bead down. Another important thing with this is like the tension on the outer wires. You want to make sure you've got the same tension on either side. That way they're not pulling crooked, if that makes sense. Pinch, and then come down with our rondelle. Oh, I didn't do this side. And then we'll pull our crimp bead. And then we will pull the slack out here. And then we'll pinch this down. And then we'll drop another rondelle down. We'll go back through our crimp. The trick is getting that wire that the rondelle is on to stay in the middle. That's the trick. And it's easier said than done sometimes. But if it's not the end of the world. It's still cute. Okay, got it in the middle. Finally. This is another one that I would say practice with some of the stainless steel Beadalon and get in the groove, get the hang of it, and then go in with your colored wire and make your finished piece. If you haven't yet, make sure you are commenting, liking, and sharing the show. That way you can enter the giveaway if you want this or if you want the earrings that we made. I've got 2 pair of earrings that we made in this series, or this week. Make sure you are getting your entry in. While I am finishing this guy off. We're not going to do the full bracelet because you guys get the gist. But I will show you guys how to finish it off. Same way we started it, really easy. Just your kind of your basic crimping. All right, so then we're gonna come around our last rondelle. This is gonna be an Olivia size bracelet. And we're going to put all of our wires onto our crimp bead. We're going to get it pulled tight down around our rondelle. And then we're going to string on one of our wires at the other end of our clasp there. Okay, we're going to come back through our crimp bead with that piece of wire and just pull that down tight. Then you'll go in with your crimping plier. Give this a squeeze. And then we'll finish off our clamshell. Oh no, my crimp bead broke. Hold, please. Do that again. I guess I don't know how strong I am. All right. Try this again. Let's try not to break our crimp bead. And then we'll come back through our crimp bead. Get this pulled down nice and tight on our wire, or on our rondelle. So we've got our loop that our jump ring is on, and then we've got kind of just our other wires just hanging out. So we're going to go back in the back of our crimping plier and give this a squeeze. Then we'll rotate it and gently finish it off. And then give all those wires a nice trim up close on your crimp bead. Mine have somehow gotten through my jump ring. I don't know how these got all through the jump ring, but it makes it kind of hard to get a nice close cut when that jump ring's in the way. There we go. Goodness. All right, so now we'll get down on the crimp bead, trim that wire, and then I just like to go back in and kind of straighten my wires out. But I love that. I love the way that looks. Isn't that cool? It takes some practice for sure, and I don't know that I've mastered it yet, but I'm working on it. I just gotta figure out how to keep my wires from twisting. That's where it gets all wonky looking. I'll give this to my girl. She can wear this. It's cute. I don't even know if this will fit her. It's cute. And I love the kind of exposed wire. Just gives it like some negative space in there, just makes it interesting. And then there's your clasp. It's real easy to do the clasp. So, I'm gonna keep practicing on this. Y'all practice it. Let me know if you come up with any tips or tricks for how to keep your wire from crisscrossing. I like it. Hey guys, thanks for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's demo. If you need any of the tools and supplies that we use today, check out the links in the description below. And while you're down there, drop your favorite fall and winter emojis in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Bye y'all.